Good afternoon and welcome to Titan Talk. Hey guys, thanks for joining us today. You have myself, Captain Coop, and we have our wonderful talent, Major McFarland.
Hello. How we doing?
Currently staring at his phone.
Sorry, I'm trying to get stuff set up.
So thanks for joining us today, guys. Today we wanted to do, I'll be honest, I was watching the podcast with Ryan and his ASIS group and everything, and I thought to myself, how can we be a little bit better with this podcast, and how can we help you guys more than we do currently? And as much as I love what we do currently, and it's got some fun to it and some camaraderie stuff, I want to do a little bit more. So I've come up with a game plan, thanks to Mr. Potter. He's helped me out with that. And we're going to transition this to where we have a little bit more security helpful stuff for everybody to kind of grow with. So today we were talking a little bit about navigating a successful career in private security and what it can lead to.
And let's do the future of private security.
You want to do the future as well?
Yeah,
sure.
A little bit of both.
Sure.
Navigating challenges and avoiding burnout. Well, you go to Mexico.
And that's the first time he's brought that up.
Viva la Mexico.
So, we wanted to talk a little bit about this, and this is something kind of
was coming, Brian.
Really new to us. So I've got a nice little printout here because, we're meatheads. And
you're a nerd.
You're a nerd.
Hi, B. Ryan. B. Ryan.
Did you say you're a nerd?
No, I said you're a nerd.
Oh, okay.
I'm the meathead. I'm the dumb one.
That's what you're
You
talking
guys
about.
should see this setup he has. We need to do that one of these days. Brian will probably do it.
Like a walkthrough of it?
He'll put his space or his hover suit
right
or
there.
hover whatever. When he was
Half the cameras.
Brian recently made a video for our chief, and it was, Brian way out. I knew Brian was good with that stuff, but dude, that was
good.
next level.
That was good.
Way to go, Brian. And that's the only compliment I'll ever give you for the rest of your life. But
Thank you, Beatty.
he had it looked like a jetpack with the camera and like a counterweight, and it was insane. Excuse me. And so he can do that again, do his jetpack dress up, and he can come around the corner there and show kind of the behind the scenes. I think that'd be a cool episode to do. As I'm derailing your new idea of staying professional.
I'm
on
used
topic,
to it. It's fine.
But that's kind of why I'm here.
Yeah, you derail everything. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's what you do. No, I think it'd be a great idea to do a behind the scenes of what everything looks like.
All the buttons.
Can't do a making of.
bells and
there's
whistles.
no real making of. We fly by their seats most of the time.
Yeah, that's true.
But some things that, like I said, with I want to get a little bit more out of this for you guys, so that way you guys have more for it. And so one of the things is coming up with better topics for you guys.
Yeah. All right. So let's just
jumping
right
into this
Yeah.
one, navigating a successful career in private security. So there's a bunch of different steps and things you can do to help navigate this. Some of the biggest thing is that I know of is understanding the private security itself and what it requires. So, and that's going to be understanding the markets you're in, understanding the jobs, what specifically are you doing, what are the client's expectations and things like that. What roles do we fall in as security officers for those clients? What are the responsibilities while we're there and things like that?
What about more like an officer level? So like someone's watching this, we think of
That's
it
what I'm
as
saying.
like a
as
high,
an,
like
as
a,
an officer.
Yeah.
What's your role? What's your responsibility while you're there?
Yeah.
And things like that.
I think let's start even sooner.
Sure.
Let's break it down. You're just a random guy or girl watching this, and you're like, I'm kind of interested in security. Like, what steps do you take to be successful? I think it starts even before getting in the door. A lot of it is mentality. Some people, and we're seeing this with St. Louis. Our boss, the chief, is going to St. Louis every week, and it's just a different city than Kansas City is. And so the struggles we've had here aren't necessarily there, and there's struggles that are there that aren't necessarily here. Mm-hmm. And one of those, I think, is the mentality of people in St. Louis. I mean, it's a weird way to put it, but people, in different cultures, different areas, different states, respond to security authority, law enforcement differently. And so I think depending on where you're at, you have to kind of develop the mentality of, you're here to do a job that a lot of people don't like.
Yeah.
are going to, scrutinize you,
Criticize.
and so you have to, even going in knowing that, it's still tough. We have those moments here at the office where it's like, it's just sometimes you feel like you can't get a win, and you have to have the mental fortitude to kind of put up with that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to be in a position where you're going to get burnt out faster, more often. You're going to run into more, personal home issues because you're not, if you're not good here, you're not good there, you know. And so one thing, Leon and I, we spend probably the most time together than pretty much any two people in this company. And it's because, there's just things, I don't know how to put it, but we're constantly picking each other up, and more so him than me.
He's picking you up?
Yes, more because he's just done it longer, and so he knows, he's much more disciplined with how to kind of go through, or how he structures his day and his schedule. And the guy's got a very ironclad schedule, and there's just certain things, and I've started to learn more with him, and this is how you structure to be successful or to have a successful career, because if you're going to do it long term, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yep.
And so I think the first thing we would touch base on, and we can go into it more in depth later episodes, because there's the future of security. That's the one I'm interested in talking about, because I think it's a really interesting topic.
All right.
But yeah, as far as being successful, it starts before you even fill out an application. It's mentally preparing yourself for this line of work. And that's hard to do if you haven't been in it before. But if you're interested in doing the right thing for people that often won't care, won't repay you, and will criticize you along the way, then you might be, you might be a good fit. Now, it's not all, sad, rainy days every day. There's good times, there's good victories, and doing something and helping people is usually what that victory is. Mm-hmm. Taking care of someone's property, putting them at ease, putting our clients at ease, giving them the peace of mind that their property, their well-being is in good hands and under control,
safe and
secure. Yeah. And so I guess that's a good segue into the future of security, or private security, with less and less people getting into law enforcement, less and less funding for law enforcement. I think you're going to see a much larger private security presence in bigger cities. I don't think so much in rural towns, smaller towns. That's just my prediction. I could be wrong. But I think you're going to see a much larger private security presence in these cities, because the criminals are never going to go away. That sounds bad, but it's job security for private security, law enforcement, and the military. Is the bad people are always there, always going to be there. Unfortunately, and they're always innovating. I was listening to this article, or a news article. I was watching a news article over the holidays, and people have, those gift cards. We give them out to guys here. Guys that work for us know we hand them out like, hand them out like crazy to guys for recognition. It's $20-$25 or whatever for gas and helping out picking up shifts. Right. And so it's a nice little incentive. So we deal with them all the time. And so I was wondering, or it caught my eye. They said thieves have developed a new way to steal these gift cards, or defraud the gift cards, essentially. So they heat up the packaging that they come in. They peel it open. And they're doing this in like a freaking, just like a store. Like, I don't know how people get away with this. They heat it up, lift it open, and they clip off the barcode, like where the swipe part is. Yep. And then they push it back together and then seal it, put it back together and seal it. And you can't really tell because it still looks like the cards. I mean, the card still is in there. And so the way you scan it, I don't know if it's the same way for all. There's lots of different gift cards, but these are just like your typical blank Visa or whatever that you load money onto. So then when you go to the register and you load the money, there's a separate barcode they use that's like a little cue. It's like a scan. Yep. And they would scan it and put, let's say $50 on there. Well, then that would notify, so the person that has the barcode, they swipe it and they can log in online. And as soon as that money's there, that person goes and buys it, that person can't use that card unless they do it online. But they get a notification, and as soon as they do, then they would transfer that money into a bank account, or they would steal it. So these people would go buy gift cards, they go to open them and use them. It's cut in half. Yeah, so you couldn't. And I mean, just things. If you take that much time into doing good, you know, the world would be a much different place. And so,
imagine the ingenuity that took to
think of that and so there's companies constantly looking for, you know, loss prevention and, you know, private security. So I think in a very weird kind of good and bad way, the future of private security is looking up.
Well,
just there's the need for it's there.
Like you were saying, with less and less people wanting to go into law enforcement and everything like that, and that's an upsetting thing as it is, but that means that the side for private security is going to take a step up. It almost always does. We've seen it here with us. You know, as law enforcement isn't able to make it to some of these off-duty gigs and stuff, they'll reach out to us to see if we can help. And they do it to all the security companies. And I don't disagree. I think that the future of security is just going to go up and up and up. I think the future of law enforcement is going to go up and up and up. Things will evolve, and we're looking now into, you know, with the future, we've got drones and we've got those. That was just odd, McFarland.
There was like a weird smell.
Really
like,
glad
is it
that the camera was on me.
I just sniffed the microphone. I was
just
like, what
absolutely caught me off guard.
It smells like fresh wood. It's weird.
No idea.
Like freshly cut cedar.
We reclaimed
maybe,
the house.
Maybe it was. Did you guys use Pledge?
Yeah. Maybe.
Maybe it smells like a.
Anyway,
I don't know.
So with the, you know, increase in that stuff, that's always going to take up. But you also have the future technologies that are evolving with security as well. With drone technology, you're taught with those AI smart robots that you're starting to see more and more of. The camera systems with the AI analytics that it can tag an individual person or a group of people, or gun analytics and stuff like that. And you're seeing this increase and this change in security. I think that there's always going to be that need for the human presence with it as well, which just means that it's going to continue to grow as well. Yeah. And so you caught me so off guard with that, dude. I lost my train of thought.
There was a smell, and I had to investigate.
Gee, Louis.
I was like, ooh, what's that smell?
All right.
I can do it again.
No, don't. I just don't know what to do.
The microphone smells like
hold on,
like the inside of like a Halloween mask, like it's plasticky. ASMR,
they're watching you do this right now, by the way. No, don't start that. Anyway,
my cousin loves it. It gives me the creeps. They'll like put long nails and they'll tap.
What is wrong with you?
Lots of things, dude. You know this.
Anyway,
have we met?
Oh, Lord. All right.
We've worked together for 5,000 years.
It feels like it, especially today, right now.
Yeah.
All right.
Again, just to kind of button that one up, the future.
It's ever growing.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope, you know, humanity starts to be nicer to each other, and there's no need for people to protect things that they need protected as much as they do now. You know, but yeah, that's just the way it is. So, and I hate that phrase. Oh, that's just the way it is. So that's never going to change. But it's unfortunately true in this case. So.
Yeah, I think Brant says it pretty good here. Private security, a must. Protector mentality, having a servant heart, understanding the risks, injury or worse. Benefits is helping your community and individuals. Absolutely.
Yeah, he covers all the the main key points there.
And that's when it comes to preparing yourself, if you're interested in a job in security or a job in law enforcement, something you have to understand is that we're there for the community, we're there for the individual. We're there to make them a safer place for them to feel comfortable in that area, and to have that understanding beforehand, and to look at your area and be like, what would someone in my area, what would make them feel safer? How would me acting as security or a law enforcement officer in this area, how could I help that community? And we see that with our we have a couple of CIDs, community improvement districts, that we do. And that's the one thing that they look at, is they're not looking at one store, one business, or one area.
Yeah,
they're looking at an entire strip of properties, and they go up and down, and they're serving that community and trying to make it a safer place and a better place for them. And so having that, I think, is just that's
Agreed.
Brant, you couldn't have said it better. That's perfect.
Lavi makes a really good, as always, the scholar. Lavi comes in with just dropping some knowledge. But Lavi, I've worked for both, so I see kind of both sides. And the private sector is much more competitive. The government, and this is not to get political, but the government isn't fighting. I mean, it's government funded, so the money's there. Not to say that they don't expect results, but a very very funny comedian that I've always liked does a bit on private sector versus government, and he compares the DMV to like Starbucks. And I won't get into it because I don't want to get political. But listen to it. It's Dan Cummins, and it's called the Department of Caffeinated Beverages. And he basically talks about how if the government were to run coffee shops, how they would do it, much like a DMV. And I think everybody, no matter which side of the aisle politically you're on, would say, and I apologize to people that work at the DMV because I'm about to say this, and it is my opinion, it sucks. Everybody hates going to the DMV. It's very, you get up there, and they're like, yeah, you don't have this form. And you're like, but I have all these others. Sorry.
Yeah.
That you're going to have to go home and get that form and then come back and wait 17 hours in line again.
Or you get the, sorry, you don't have this. And it's like, well, I'm waiting on another branch, another, and I'm waiting for the state to give me that. Well, until you have it, there's nothing you can do.
You probably remember when my wife and I were getting our passports, I had to take some time off during the day, and, we're pretty busy, so I try not to do that. And, I ended up having to go like 2 different times.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, do we have everything we need? So we get up there and we fill out this form that my wife printed off online from home, so we could fill it out at home and didn't have to do it there. And she goes, yeah, this isn't the right size. And I go, but all the information's there. She goes, yeah, but it won't fit into the thing right. And I was like, you're kidding, right? She goes, yeah, you're going to have to fill this out. And I look back and there's just a huge line because it was at a post office, another government, And so I'm like, fantastic. I get to do this all over again. She goes, yep, I'm sorry. And so I was like, no, you're not.
You can step out of line now.
Yeah, you can step. Yeah, please. Please let this next person I'm going to disappoint through. So, but yeah, and Beatty, he's worked for the government. He knows how it is. Most of my family's been in the military. There's a very hurry up and wait approach where the private sector, there's a really funny line from Ghostbusters where Bill Murray's character is talking to one of the others, and they're talking about funding for their ghostbusting program or whatever, and he's like, it's not like the government. It's the private sector, and they demand results. And so that's why I like being on this side of it now. I just think there's a competitive edge. Yeah,
it's very similar on our end. When it comes to demanding the results, they're looking for making sure that their property's safe, and they're looking for the results of that, and they're looking for, and we do that with reports. We do that with our incident logs and stuff like that, our DARs and all of that stuff. And it's very similar in that they're looking for results. They want to be able to prove and verify that spending the money is worth it.
Yeah, the clients are spending good money on us, and we earn it, And so that's how you continue to build that relationship. I was out with a client yesterday who I have a fantastic relationship with, and it's because of our responsiveness, And I was telling him, I said, hey, you get a little bit of extra treatment just because of who he is, and it's a big piece of downtown Kansas City. He's always spoken very highly of us, but he asked for something. If he asks for something, he gets it, And so as long as it's legal, ethical, and moral, which it would be coming from him, he's a stand-up guy. And those client meetings I love those ones. There's some where I don't want to say I don't get along, but there's some clients that are just like, hey, we don't need to go get drinks.
They don't treat you like there's not a personal relationship.
And that's fine.
It's more of a statistic. And we're able, you're a line item.
Yeah, we're able to handle all that. Some of them are like robots, and that's fine. And that's but those are the ones I really like spending time with. And it was so nice to hear. He goes, I could call anybody in the hierarchy tomorrow, and they would answer. And I said, of course we would. Yeah, there's certain, a lot of behind the scenes things that people don't see and that's kind of how it's supposed to be. If some guy is over here, look how much I'm working. Those are the people that usually aren't getting after it. So you never know.
So that's kind of prepping yourself to get into it and things that you got that you don't see and stuff like that. Some other things to consider with
Chef's kiss to Brian. Did you see that was good?
no, for navigating a successful career. I think this is going to be one. It's going to be a multi-episode podcast for that. I think we can dive deep into a lot of these things.
Oh yeah,
So
every
just so
single
you
topic.
guys
Yeah,
know.
these topics are great.
This is
And
not going to be a
we're
one-time
scatterbrained.
thing.
Yeah, we're scatterbrained, but it would be better to get a little more structure, like you said.
I'm trying.
Well, I'm already in Mexico, man, in my brain.
I know.
So.
But some other things to keep into consideration would be skills development and specializations. And Joe tagged on this earlier with the private protection, or what is it you said, Joe? Let me scroll back a little bit. I'm sorry. It was executive protection. That's a particular specialization. Awkward hug. And we have those. In what we do currently, we have those specializations.
Mm-hmm.
We have our industries that we're really good at, that I wouldn't say perfected, but we've got really close to.
Right.
That we do very well. We can do a lot of them. And having that and knowing what you can do as a security officer and getting your specialization to help out the company and help yourself out and give yourself the best chance of success, not necessarily EMT, but CPR, AED, getting those specializations, maybe getting an instructor certificate in that, range instructor, range training, getting those things under your belt so you have the additional training, or, just the training in general to have an understanding of what's going on and what might be required of you.
Yeah.
In the industry to help you out in that and further your goals.
Mm-hmm.
I think that having those skills or learning skills like that is very helpful in this industry.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you're constantly wanting to get better. Haven't worked out and haven't done it in years. I used to do it all the time when I was younger, and you want to keep yourself in good shape, and maintain those things, like you said, getting certifications and furthering your education in it. Some of the new hires are just like, hey, should I read up on Article 17 and what that entails? Of course you should. You're doing this for a living. You need to look into it. And so we'll teach you everything you need to know, but there's always more that you could be learning.
There's nothing wrong with furthering your education.
Yes.
I went to electrical, is what I studied in college. And one of my instructors always told us that you never know everything, but you can try to learn as much. You can try to learn everything. And so as long as you're in the industry, if you're not learning, you're not growing, you're not succeeding.
Mm-hmm.
And so either learning a new skill in that industry or continuing the education on the current skills that you have to improve and make yourself better, there's nothing ever wrong with it, because you're never going to know everything. I don't care how long you do something, you're never going to know everything. Something's always going to catch you off guard. I know, guys, I have spoken to officers and security officers that have been doing this for 15 plus years, and there are still things that catch them off guard.
What's up, Dylan?
And so furthering that knowledge and learning those new traits or honing the current ones you have makes a world of difference in what we do.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree.
Lavi's got a good point too. I think working on both sides.
Yeah, that's what I said
has
earlier.
helped.
I said I have.
Yeah.
So I've seen it, and I almost went back, to the other side, but I found a good group of guys here that felt like family, still feel like family, and I think we're doing something really cool. We talked about the other day with kind of our recipe of how we do things has turned us from this many million to this many million.
Yeah.
And it is a drastic change. And so it is not just us that did that. It takes everybody. But I think the recipe we're using is a pretty good one. So
Absolutely.
it's being a part of it from when it was not in its infancy. I was here a little after that. You pretty
I
much
was close.
have been. Yeah, you were
close.
much closer to me. But to really help kind of, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but to really help
Grow.
grow to grow this the way we have, and the quote that our chief uses a lot or has used in the past is, you want to grow like a muscle, not like a weed. But the speed we're growing is like a weed, but we're forming like a muscle, which is nice seeing it come together. So, and everybody that is a part of it is just really cool to be a part of it. If I do nothing else in life, at least I'll be able to say that I was a part of this place and what we do and stand for, and I can be proud of that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a couple on here that I think we're going to save for another one. I think we might approach this again next. I might wait for you to get back. I don't know yet.
You can do something without me.
That's
okay.
fine. We can do it without you, because then at least we won't hop right now. I'm just playing.
Yeah, that is true. Someone will be less squirrel, so they won't sniff the microphone. But yeah,
that was so. Still caught me
we
off
kind of
guard.
touched on a lot of these dudes.
We did.
Like starting strong, entering the industry.
You know,
We
one
talked
thing I
about
do want to
RFC.
say is if you're watching this later after we're live and you or you're considering security or you're security law enforcement, excuse me, don't be afraid to put a question in the comments. You know, let us know if it's something that is relatable or something that we have an answer for. We'd be happy to answer it in a future podcast. We do go back and read the comments and adjust as necessary with those and add them in if we can. And so don't be afraid if you guys have personal stories that help along that might help someone's career.
Yeah.
Or an idea,
Testimonials, if you will.
There you go. Put it in.
So I just read that. I can't take credit for it. But yeah,
I read a lot
and
of
then
it too. Don't worry.
I think one that we could do is like the technology integration.
And we touched on that before. That's something that if you watch
drones, bro.
I'm gonna tag back to Ryan's podcast that he did with the ASIS guys. They tagged in on drones and how that how the future is changing with that type of stuff. Go back to that podcast and watch that one. It was a real good podcast with Ryan and that crew. And there's a ton of good information in that. But, that's all with the emerging technologies and how things are changing. Everything's going to evolve about what we do.
Yeah, and it's really cool to kind of peel behind the curtain a little bit, just as Titan as a whole. When our higher-ups went to basically a big security convention, the things that the, seasoned professionals of the industry touched on are all major things that we're developing here back at Titan. And that was really cool to see. And it just shows that we're working for the right people. We've got the right group of people together doing what they're good at. Because basically we went into where everybody's really good at security, and they were like, yeah, you should be doing this, this, and this. And we're like, holy shit, that's exactly what we're doing,
Wait,
and so and it honestly wasn't too much of a shock, not to sound kind of cocky, but
You're not wrong.
yeah,
You're not wrong.
we work for, we all us Titans work for some really sharp guys here, and Ryan and Sean and Kyle and Leon, those guys know what they're doing, and it's really cool to see the fruits of our labor, I guess is what I would say. So
I actually have an answer, another somewhat version answer for that, Lavi. Good soles in your shoes.
Yeah.
That helps out a lot too.
The first, so one of the biggest tips of advice that I was told early on in my career is
good boots.
Good footwear. Yeah,
good boots.
And this is a little tip and trick for those of you that may go buy new boots. So if you have existing boots, which you should, and you go to buy new boots, don't just go cold turkey to the new boots.
Yeah.
Wear your new ones for a couple hours and then go to the restroom, change, or go to a break room or whatever, and change back into your old ones. And slowly wean yourself into those boots. Otherwise, you will shred your feet.
Done it more than once.
That's any working man boot. I've been a blue collar guy pretty much my entire life, and so I've always had working boots. And I learned that young, and I've never shied away from it.
I've also learned that it depends on what you pay for your boots. Boots, it's not just a name brand thing. There are the name brands, but generally what you pay is what you get. I've had boots that are $40, and I've had boots that are $400. And my boots that are $400 are almost always better than my boots that are $40. The current boots I wear to work every day and that I was wearing in the field were about $160. And they act like $160 pair of boots. They last about 8 months, and then they just fall apart. My $400 pair of boots, I still have at home.
Oh, I've never dropped $400 on a pair, but
I dropped $400 on a pair of boots, and they're still amazing, but they're the wrong color. So
I think the most I've ever spent. I've got some good cowboy boots that they're Ariats. I think I spent 150, 160. These Oakleys I have on, they're not bad. They're very slippery when it's wet out, which is kind of dangerous.
Kind of a bad idea.
Yeah, it just for whatever reason, but they're sharp looking, so that's why I like them. And but they don't have a side zip, and a side zip's clutch.
I'll tell you what, I never. My first 6 years, I avoided it.
Side zip?
Yeah, I thought it was the worst decision you could make.
No, dude.
And the day I transitioned,
It's like having Velcro
it was like a
shoes.
week. It took like a week. after I transitioned. And I was like, this was the best decision I ever
Yeah,
made.
my old ones were Rockies, but yeah, these were like 90 to 100. So,
These are about 160.
but I'm not on my feet as much. I'm getting fat at a desk, dealing with other stuff than I used to. So,
But
it works out for me.
other than that, we're going to get to the weather, and then we're going to let you guys get back to enjoying your rest of your work days and your weekends. So what we're looking at weather-wise is today we're looking at a cool 64. Saturday we're looking at 62. Sunday 72 and sunny all weekend. We're looking at Monday 77, Tuesday 73, Wednesday 47. Nice little chill there.
I've heard of that, Beatty. The whole shower
Thursday
in your boots
59.
thing.
My dad told me about that one time.
It's a military thing.
Yeah. Friday 64, Saturday 70, and Sunday 72. So we are getting back into the warmer temperatures. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, well,
Not looking
remember
forward to the
when
summer,
the
so.
freaking groundhog that you didn't know existed.
Yeah, I still don't believe you.
It's
No, I just,
it's 100%. Yeah, Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow or didn't or whatever.
I
I will say I don't remember if it's a shadow, it's spring or what. I don't know which one it is. I think if he sees a shadow, then winter's 6 more weeks. But yeah.
So other than that, that's all I have. We will, talk about this more in later podcasts. We might have, have a part 2 coming up. But this is kind of the thing I want to do more of, is get some better information for longevity for you guys out there. So that way, for those of you who are with us and want to expand your horizon, or for those of you who aren't with a security company and you're interested in, we can get you guys in. So
I still get confused about this lore thing. What does it mean again? Notoriety?
history.
History. Okay.
Yeah. So,
Folklore.
huh?
It's just for some reason I cannot get my brain around it.
Folklore. Think of folklore. What is folklore?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm stupid.
So other than that,
Why
we're
are we
going to let you
whispering
guys
all
get
the
back to your days.
Thought we were being really quiet.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend. We will
Twisters
catch you
2
guys.
coming out in July.
Catch you guys on
Squirrel.
Monday.
Squirrel.
We appreciate everything you guys do.
I'm going to Mexico.
Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do
I'll
stuff
see you
like
guys.
this.
Yep, and I'll see you guys in a couple weeks. I will be thinking of everybody back here.
No,
while
he won't.
I am
Do not let him lie to you.
putting my fat
He is
butt in
not
the
gonna think
sand.
about us at
I
all.
will. Trust me.
Look at him roll his eyes.
Hydration. Hey,
So we appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
Wait.
Remember, hydration is
Yeah.
key. It's the day before, not the day of.
phenomenal.
Appreciate it, guys. Have a good one and stay safe.
See you guys.